Ready to jump into the world of fintech?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've got this study on mobile money in Ghana and how it's being used.
Uh-huh.
But it's not just like your typical Silicon Valley fintech.
Oh, no.
We're talking about how this tech is actually empowering businesses in a developing economy.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So the study we're looking at is from 2019 by Senyo and others.
Okay.
And they really went deep.
Yeah.
Instead of just looking at numbers and data,
Uh-huh.
they talked to actual people.
Oh, wow.
The business owners using mobile money, government officials, even the mobile network operators.
So we get like a full picture.
Exactly. And the title is Moving Away from Trading on the Margins, Economic Empowerment of Informal Businesses Through Fintech.
Catchy.
Right.
And speaking of informal businesses,
Yeah.
Ghana's got a unique situation going on.
Oh, for sure.
Like a huge informal economy, something like 88% of jobs,
Whoa.
and a thriving fintech scene, too.
The perfect recipe to study this intersection.
It really is.
Now imagine for a second.
You're running a business,
Okay.
but every single transaction has to be in cash.
That's a lot of cash.
Yeah, talk about a logistical nightmare.
No kidding. And that was the reality for most Ghanaians before mobile money came along.
Right.
It was a game changer.
Yeah, especially in those early days.
Uh-huh.
Mobile money was really about just solving that basic problem.
Making it easier to send money, right?
Exactly.
Like sending money to family in another town without needing a bank or traveling for hours.
Totally.
But of course, with new tech comes new challenges, and suddenly the Bank of Ghana.
The central bank.
Right. They had to figure out how to regulate this whole new system.
A big task.
It
Wow.
was. You had these traditional banks used to controlling everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then these mobile network operators like MTN Ghana running the mobile money show.
So like two different worlds colliding.
It was.
Sounds like a recipe for friction.
Oh, there's definitely friction. Well, banks saw these MNOs as stepping on their toes, encroaching on their territory.
And the MNOs.
Probably felt like they were being held back by the bank's existing power.
So what happened?
The central bank had to step in.
Like a referee.
Exactly. They created this policy in 2015 called the e-money issuers policy.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It was brilliant.
How so?
It basically recognized these mobile network operators as semi-autonomous financial institutions.
Go like a hybrid?
Yeah, they could offer mobile money services, but the banks still held the actual funds.
Clever way to keep everyone happy.
Well, not exactly happy.
Oh.
The paper actually described this partnership as a forced marriage.
Uh-huh. I can imagine.
But hey, it worked.
It did.
And it led to a pretty amazing shift in Ghana's financial landscape.
What do you mean?
Before, everything was siloed.
Separate systems.
Right, but then they created this connected network.
That brought everything together.
Yes, mobile money, cards, and bank accounts all working together.
That's impressive.
And get this, the banks actually resisted this at first.
Really?
Why? They were so used to controlling how money moved.
Like it was a threat to their power.
I think so.
So their thinking had to evolve.
Big time.
Oh, fascinating.
But that interconnectivity,
Yeah.
that's what allowed the whole system to grow and become so useful.
Like a network effect.
Exactly. The more connected it was.
More valuable it became.
Exactly. And that brings us to the really unexpected outcome of this whole thing.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Informal businesses.
Like those little shops and market stalls.
Yep, the heart of Ghana's economy.
But they weren't the target for mobile money, right?
No, not initially.
So how did they get involved?
Well, they were operating in a cash-only world,
Makes sense.
limited by their location, facing all sorts of obstacles.
Would have been tough.
And then they saw mobile money.
This tech designed for individuals.
Yep, and they flipped the script.
Wow.
They adapted it to their needs,
Like true innovators.
created a whole new way of doing business.
That's incredible.
The paper even talks about a business owner who closed her physical shop
What? Why?
because her online sales powered by mobile money were just so much better.
That's a game changer.
It really is.
So mobile money became this unexpected catalyst,
For a whole new business landscape.
a classic case of people using tech in ways no one could have predicted.
And that's just the beginning of the story.
There's more.
Oh, there's so much more to unpack.
I can't wait.
Okay, so mobile money really shook things up in Ghana.
Oh, yeah.
From regulations to those informal businesses really taking it and running with it.
In ways no one expected.
Right. So now let's dive into the empowerment outcome.
Those real-life changes.
Exactly. Like, how did mobile money actually improve people's lives?
It's one thing to just say access to financial services.
But this research really digs into how those services translate into actual empowerment.
It does.
So, first up,
Yeah.
access to startup capital.
Okay.
I mean, starting a business always takes money.
Always.
But imagine you're in the informal economy.
Trying to get a loan from a traditional bank.
It's like an impossible dream, right?
Pretty much.
So what did people do before mobile money?
Well, they had to rely on loans from friends and family.
If they were lucky enough to have those connections.
And the money available.
Right. It's a tricky situation.
Definitely.
But then these mobile money providers started offering microloans.
Oh, interesting.
And they weren't really designed for businesses at first.
But that didn't stop those resourceful, informal business owners.
No way.
They saw an opportunity, and they took it.
It's amazing.
They used those microloans to get the capital they needed.
Right from their phones.
Often much easier to obtain than traditional bank loans, too.
Less paperwork, fewer requirements.
Exactly. A much simpler process.
The researchers even quote one business owner.
What'd they say?
Starting this business was difficult, so I had to borrow through mobile money and a friend.
It just highlights how vital those microloans became.
For real.
And it's not just about the money itself.
It's that ease of access.
Exactly. It opened up possibilities for people who might never have been able to start their own business otherwise.
It's like giving them the tools to take control of their own future.
Absolutely. Empowering them.
And speaking of empowerment,
Yeah.
the next outcome is even more impressive to me.
What is it?
The increase in employment opportunities.
Okay. Yeah.
Think about it. We have all these individuals now able to become entrepreneurs.
Creating their own jobs.
Exactly.
And the study found that many of these business owners were previously unemployed.
So mobile money is actually driving job creation at a much larger scale.
That's pretty cool.
And it doesn't stop there.
What do you mean?
Remember those digital informal businesses we talked about?
The ones selling online?
Yep, someone has to deliver those products.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly there's this demand for delivery drivers.
Many of them using motorbikes.
Like a whole mini economy popped up.
Wow. The ripple effects are huge.
The researchers quote another business owner.
Oh, I like these quotes.
Me too. This one says, I use dispatch riders a lot, so I only use mobile money as means of payment. This is convenient because I get my money once the bead is delivered.
It shows how everyone benefits.
Not just the business owner, but all these other people in the community.
A true ecosystem.
It really is.
Okay, so we've got access to capital, job creation.
What's next?
Well, with all this new activity and money flowing around,
Yeah.
how did people manage their finances?
That's a great question.
Especially since they were so used to a cash-based system.
Right, like going from keeping track of everything in a notebook to managing it all digitally.
A huge leap.
It is. But that brings us to the third empowerment outcome.
Which is?
Improved financial management.
Makes sense.
Instead of stashing cash in a drawer.
Hoping no one finds it.
Exactly.
Mobile money gave them a secure and transparent way to handle their money.
They could track income, expenses, save their earnings.
Even earn interest on those savings.
Often better than traditional bank accounts.
Wow, that's impressive.
The study has another great quote from a business owner.
Let's hear it.
Without mobile money, my business would not have survived, and I would not have been getting as much value from the business. I am able to collect payments through mobile money before I deliver, guaranteeing my sale.
That's powerful.
Think about that.
Guaranteeing your sale before you even deliver.
It completely changes the game.
It does.
And remember how we talked about that interconnectedness?
Yeah, that everything's linked together.
Now they could easily transfer money between mobile money and bank accounts.
Pay suppliers digitally.
Even handle international transactions.
It streamlines their whole operation.
Imagine being a business owner who used to spend hours traveling just to pay a supplier.
Now it's instant.
Right from your phone.
Anywhere you are.
So efficient and secure.
It's remarkable.
It really is.
But it couldn't have been all smooth sailing, right?
I mean, there had to be some challenges along the way.
Definitely.
Remember, the technology wasn't initially designed for these businesses.
True. They had to figure out how to adapt it.
Often with limited resources.
And varying levels of digital literacy.
And then there's the trust factor.
With any new technology.
Were customers hesitant to use mobile money?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, they were used to paying with cash.
And trusting that the system actually worked.
That their money would be safe.
Took time to overcome those doubts.
It did, but these business owners persisted.
They're pretty inspiring.
They saw a need and found a way to meet it.
Necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Exactly.
Their ingenuity led to those amazing outcomes we talked about.
Outcomes no one could have predicted.
Makes you wonder what else is possible.
If we intentionally design financial solutions with this kind of flexibility
And adaptability.
from the ground up,
That's the exciting part.
what if we design something specifically for the informal sector?
From day one,
Imagine the potential.
we could see even greater access to credit, more sophisticated financial management tools.
Maybe even entirely new business models. This is a great place to stop for now.
But we're not done yet.
Now, in part 3, we're going to zoom out even further.
And explore what Ghana's experience means for the rest of the world.
Stay tuned, it's going to be fascinating. Back for more on mobile money and Ghana.
It's a fascinating story.
We've seen those regulatory changes, how informal businesses adapted.
And the real impact on people's lives
It's amazing how something so simple as sending money on your phone.
can have such a ripple effect.
More access to capital, new jobs, better financial management.
Yeah, it really highlights the power of technology.
But now I think it's time to step back a bit.
Look at the bigger picture.
So why should all of this matter to someone who isn't running a business in Ghana?
Because Ghana's experience offers a valuable blueprint.
For other developing countries.
Exactly.
A real-world example of how technology can drive economic development.
A case study in innovation.
They didn't just copy-paste a solution from somewhere else.
Right, they built something that worked for their specific context.
But it wasn't just about the technology itself.
Oh no, it was the whole ecosystem surrounding it.
So we can't just drop in some fancy fintech and expect it to fix everything.
You need the right conditions for it to flourish.
Like a plant needing good soil, sunlight, and water.
Exactly.
And the central bank played a big role.
They were willing to adapt and create space for a mobile money to grow.
They weren't afraid to challenge the status quo.
And collaborate with those outside the traditional financial system.
They bridged the gap between old and new.
And that's a crucial lesson for policymakers.
Be open to change, partner with different players, and most importantly,
Listen to the people you're trying to help.
empower them to use technology in new ways.
That's where real innovation comes from,
It blows my mind that all this happened organically.
with technology not even designed for businesses.
Imagine what we could achieve if we designed fintech specifically for the informal sector.
From the ground up.
Greater access to credit, more sophisticated tools.
Maybe even entirely new business models.
The possibilities are exciting.
And the impact could extend far beyond Ghana.
To developing economies all over the world.
It's a reminder that innovation can come from unexpected places.
And the best solutions address real human needs. If you're interested in learning more.
I highly recommend checking out the full research paper.
It's a fascinating read.
Might even spark some ideas of your own.
This deep dive has been eye-opening.
It's given us hope for the future.
A future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time for another deep dive.